What's going on, everyone? Good morning and welcome to the show. And we've got a heck of a show today. What do I mean? Well, last night was the Game Awards, and at the Game Awards, a bunch of meaningless awards were given out that I don't care about. However, there were a whole bunch of new game announcements, releases, and all kinds of stuff. So today we're going to cover that. We're actually going to be watching a large series of game trailers to see what's coming out in the near future. Pretty exciting. In addition to that, we're going to talk more about these ongoing tech issues with YouTube and what I'm doing to try to tackle and fix said issues, because obviously I don't want them going on endlessly. I want a resolution to this ridiculousness, okay? So, we got a lot to discuss on today's episode of the Level 1 Podcast. Alrighty, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the show. I'm DSP. This is the Level 1 Podcast for Friday, the 13th of December, 2024. I hope you're all doing well and ready to look at a whole bunch of new game stuff, man, because we got overload after last night's Game Awards, which had an unprecedented number of game trailers shown off. Pretty exciting. Today we're going to be going over that and enjoying it together, so I hope that you're ready for that. A few changes and adjustments around here. Okay, number one, I went back to using the 1080p 60 frame webcam. As you can see, full 60 frames again. For a couple of days, I experimented with the 4K webcam. But when I do that, I can only do it for 30 frames. Feedback was mixed. Some people liked that when I did this, it seemed to do a little bit of a better green screen effect. I have to find this now because it's not centered, obviously. Yeah, so people liked that the green screen looked a little bit better in that regard, while others said they really preferred the higher frame rates and were a little disappointed. Here we go. We're a little disappointed that I was only at 30 frames after they had kind of gotten used to me, you know, being at 60. So it was definitely mixed reaction, and people were wondering, you know, where's I going to go back to the other resolution, etc. And after getting your feedback and polling, because we actually did a poll yesterday on the main channel page community tab, we decided let's go back to 60. Now I have to adjust. As you can see, I'm adjusting everything again because it was set up for the 4K, and now I got to readjust all the pictures. But yeah, so there we go. So hopefully you'll enjoy the 1080p 60 frame webcam again. Thank you for your patience as we tried out various different things. And hopefully, you know, moving forward, this is what we'll stick with then. If this is what you want, I'm totally okay with that webcam, okay? Now, in addition, my RGB setup, as you can see, it's pretty crazy, right? And every day it's changing a little bit more. Right now, it's actually looking like it's like bouncing. Where's that light coming from? You see how... There was a light, totally there was a light on this side of my face. Now it seems to be gone. Where was it coming from? You saw that, right? Like my whole side of my face was purple. Oh! My frame is screwed up. See, we're still having ongoing tech issues, guys. And it sucks. Like, I wish that these issues didn't exist or persist. But for some odd reason, my tech just doesn't want to work fully. It just wants to keep having issues. And it's everything. Like, every day it's something different. The RGB's desync. The frame is wrong. And it keeps making me look... You saw how weird I looked? Like, my face was so bright because the thing had desynced and was the wrong brightness. So, I'm doing my best. You know, whenever you have tech upgrades, you have problems. And the problems have absolutely persisted for me now for days. It seems like every single day there's a new tech problem. Last night, I'm doing my DS Politics show. And my RGBs desync and stop working, and I'm like, uh-oh, how do I fix them? And I'm trying to figure it out, and I can't figure it out because I'm being dumb. Like, I'm just in my head. It's not jiving because I'm in the middle of a live show, and I want to just do the show and not mess with my setup. but the RGBs looked awful. You know, they were like rainbow going crazy and bothering everyone. So I had to stop the show, mess with it, and then it dawned on me, here's what's going on. Let me fix it. So there's still tech issues, okay? The major tech issue that is persisting right now for me is the issue with videos being uploaded to YouTube. What do I mean by that? So for the last 3 days, I record my videos locally to my hard drive as I'm streaming, and then I upload them to YouTube. Okay, and that's great. That's what I want to do. I want it that the stream is, you know, its own thing, but I'm separating my broadcast into separate videos. For example, the podcast is one video, and then the gameplay is separate videos, and I upload it in a playlist and everything nicely ordered. For the last 3 days, every time I upload to YouTube, the videos take way longer than they usually would, and they sit there saying they're going to encode and take forever to process and encode on YouTube. I'm not kidding you. Yesterday's podcast, okay, has not processed yet. That video I uploaded yesterday around 4:30 to 5 p.m. It's 11:30 a.m. the next day. It has not fully processed. So no one can watch yesterday's podcast in HD. It's only showing up in 360p. Now, you might say, well, this is probably because you changed all your stuff. But it's not. I was uploading at the same settings for a week and had 0 issues. Then all of a sudden, something at YouTube changed, and now the videos all get stuck in processing. It's a huge nightmare, okay? So what I'm doing today, we're doing something different, okay? Number one, as you know, I downgraded the webcam back to 1080p 60 frames, so we'll have more frames, but it'll be a little bit lower quality. But today I'm doing a whole different setup for direct capture recording. I've changed the codec. It used to be I used the AV1 codec. Now I'm using some, you know, different one. It's not the one I used to use, which was the super old one, like 10 years old, but it's not the most modern one. I'm using like this middle of the road codec. So we'll see what happens. It very well could be that for some reason, YouTube just decided that it didn't want to work with the new codec. It doesn't make sense because it worked for a whole week, no problems, and I didn't change my setup. But hey, I guess I got to roll with whatever happens with YouTube. If YouTube doesn't want to accept these videos, I have to change it. I have to work. I have to be able to get my content live on the site, right? So yesterday I did experiment. I recorded gameplay in only 30-minute increments instead of an hour. They did still take a long time to upload. They did still take a long time to process, but they did actually upload and process. Unlike previously where half the videos were getting stuck, the 30-minute videos did work. So it seems like it is an issue with this encoder or the length of the video, which again makes no sense. How am I supposed to do a podcast if I can only do a podcast that's a half an hour long, right? It's not going to work, right? So I don't know. Today I'm trying something different. Like I said, I guess the old encoder was AV1, and that was supposed to be the most modern encoder. I'm still streaming using that one, but recording, I'm now using a different one. NVENC, what is it called? Hold on. I'll tell you in a sec. NVENC HEVC. So I guess I used to use like H264. Now, and then I was using AV1. Now I'm using HEVC. I don't know, honestly, if this is going to improve the situation or not. It very well may not. I don't know if it will or not, okay? But we'll have to see. So I'm sorry. We're having all these tech issues. This morning, I wanted to get the stream ready. My laptop freezes, and I had to restart my laptop. It refused to work. I was like, what the hell? Then as I'm doing that, my keyboard desynced. And my keyboard wouldn't work. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, what is going on? Like, everything at once, every tech issue possible, all at once. Really frustrating. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I can get these bugs worked out. Now, I can tell you this. If my lighting desyncs, I actually know how to fix it. Okay? If my lighting desyncs, I'm good. I can actually get that working right away. So, it's growing pains. It's tech issues. I knew I was going to have them. I'm sorry that this persists. I promise you, hopefully soon, we'll have everything smooth. It's been now a week and a half, still not smooth, still having these tech issues every single day. This is why my streams are late and everything. why the videos are uploading out of order. I apologize for that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, things will fix shortly. Okay? Okay. So now, the only real topic I have today is I want to tell you the schedule, and I want to react to a ridiculous amount of game trailers. That's it. So before we get to that, Eternal Napalm has our first contribution of the day, a $5 super chat. In what universe does friggin' Balatro, get 3 awards, but Stellar Blade gets none? Fuck the Game Awards and fuck gaming journalism and rant. Yeah, the Game Awards, as for the awards last night, a lot of people were kind of shocked. Notably, Game of the Year went to Astrobot, which I'm never going to agree that Astrobot was Game of the Year. Astrobot was a solid and creative platformer. But saying that Astrobot was Game of the Year means that last year Super Mario Wonder was Game of the Year. It's literally that simple. You can't say that one creative platformer is Game of the Year when the year before there was a game that was of equivalent quality. But you're saying that wasn't Game of the Year. It doesn't make sense. Okay? So just the Game of the Year pick made absolutely no sense whatsoever. A lot of the awards went to stuff. Best performance. The woman in freaking Hellblade 2. It's like, what? Did you fucking play the game? I don't think you did. Because there were a lot of games with great performances this year. I mean, just on the top of my head, Silent Hill 2 had some great performances. The main character playing James did a really good job in that game. And you're going to tell me that just because this woman used fucking mocap again for the second time and it's the same fucking game a second time, she's the best performer? Like, what are you talking about? I don't know. Like, again, but these awards, I have to remind everyone, they're not official. They don't mean anything. They're just a bunch of journalists voting on stuff. It's not the consensus. It's not how gamers actually feel. It's just what journalists voted on. And as we know, more and more increasingly, these games journalists are of one mind, one mentality, pushing to one direction with one kind of agenda, and they don't really represent gamers as a whole. So therefore, I don't really see the whole point of really caring about what won the awards. You know, for me, the Game Awards is an opportunity to announce a bunch of new games, and that's what happened. Like, a bunch of trailers and things dropped, and that was really cool. But outside of that, I don't really care about anything else at that award show. Really, I mean, during my break yesterday between streams, I turned it on my phone. It played like 17 ads in a row. It was like an ad for Star Wars Outlaws, which is hilarious. It's got like things, oh, it's the best game ever, blah, blah. Dude, Star Wars Outlaws tanked. No one bought it, and it was nominated for no awards. Why do we believe a paid ad that you're running during the Game Awards where the game just got snubbed? Why would we think it's a good game? You know, again, the Game Awards are a way for Jeff Keighley to line his pockets with money. This is why he does the awards in early December rather than January, and why a ton of games like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Marvel Rivals, Path of Exile 2 will never be considered for any awards because they all released in December. Guess what? Game Awards just cuts off and doesn't allow games in December to be nominated. So no one will remember those games next year, and those games will never get awarded anything just because of their release date. That's fucked up, and it just shows how not official the Game Awards are. So there you go. Not a Wabbit did a $5 super chat. A lot of this can be figured out if you did tests off the clock. Wrong, because the malfunctions happen when I'm on the clock. I love when people try to armchair quarterback shit when they know absolutely nothing about it. Like, you can, just by saying that, you've proven you have absolutely no concept of how to stream. Okay? How can I tell if there's going to be an issue with me streaming unless the stream is on? How can I tell when magically my system will desync? And then I have to resync it. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know if it's even going to happen. How could I have predicted that today when I went to use my laptop, it would freeze? So what you're saying is stupid. But thanks for the $5 super chat. Okay. Anyway. So schedule-wise, let's go through it. Okay? For the week, what's coming up. And then we are going to watch a whole ton of game trailers together. Okay? So schedule-wise, here's what we've got going on for the week, okay? Today, I'm excited because when we finish the podcast, we are jumping back into I almost said Elden Ring. Bloodborne, the Old Hunters DLC. Last time around, I began the DLC and I got through the whole first part of said DLC, which is basically the hardest part. If you remember, the streets full of the hunters and all these booby traps and setups with guns and the blood monsters and stuff, they're very annoying and very, very hard to get by. But I actually passed all that and I opened the first shortcut. So now I can go through that shortcut through the Blood River and I can get to the area with the first boss, Ludwig, which I know you all want to see me fighting Ludwig. Okay, it's going to be exciting to see how it goes fighting Ludwig. Okay, that's the boss that whooped my ass the very first time I played this DLC 9 years ago. But then I basically redeemed myself when I played the DLC years later and completely beat it. So let's see what happens this time, right? So I'm excited for that today. We'll see how it goes. And then we continue on with the DLC. Tonight on the late stream, it is Balatro. I'm excited. I played this the other night. I had a great time with it. We had a few great runs, and I'm in the midst of actually a really good run in Balatro right now. And I'm excited to try it again tonight, continuing with that run and keep going. Okay, so excited for that. 2 thumbs up. Balatro tonight. Hope you'll join me. 6:15 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. I would love to say the exact time, except every single day I have technical issues, and I can't seem to get the streams up on time, so I apologize for that. Okay? I'm off from streaming tomorrow. It's finally after 6 days. It's my day off from streaming. Okay? When I return on Sunday, we start a big variety of stuff this week. Sunday, it's going to be Indiana Jones and the Golden Circle paired with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, Indiana Jones has picked up in a big way. It's actually much better right now. I'm having a good time with it. We're advancing the story, so we might actually leave the Vatican and go to a new area of the game. I'm not sure. But very fun so far and can't wait for more of that. And, of course, Flight Sim is always a nice, chill time where you guys can nominate places to go through your contributions. Basically, you're kind of buying a plane ticket. And we haven't done it in about a week now. So now it'll be fun to jump back into it and try it again and have a good time with aerial tourism of the world, right? That'll be fun. Then on Monday, it's going to be Marvel Rivals on the daytime stream. And that's going to be good because I've decided Marvel Rivals should be a day stream because it gives me more time to play a variety of characters. What I'm going to do is for people who contribute $20, so that could be a $20 tip, a $20 super chat, 7 gifted memberships or on YouTube, which are cheaper, or 4 gifted subs over on Kick, which are a little bit more expensive. You get to pick the character that I'm going to use. All right, and there's a ton of characters in Marvel Rivals, so I'm very excited to try out different characters on that stream. And then Monday night, we're going to do more Balatro. Okay? Then Tuesday, it's going to be more of the Bloodborne Old Hunters DLC and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on the late stream. Now, remember, another thing going on next week. On Wednesday, I'm going to be doing my long-form React event, the first one I've done in many months, on the DSP Reacts channel. Okay, we're going to do a podcast here, but then we're all going to collectively head over to DSP Reacts, and it's going to be DSP Reacts to the Mr. Medicare documentary by June the King. Now, I don't know much about Mr. Medicare at all. To be frank with all of you, it's all hearsay. It's things that I've heard in the last several months about the guy. Particularly, I know he's covered me and basically made fun of me or criticized me over the years. But he also criticized my detractors and basically was the guy who like completely ruined the Sons of Kojima, supposedly. He's had a lot of different interactions with people all over the internet. So it'll be fascinating to watch this documentary and learn all about the guy for the first time. I figured this is perfect for the first long-form React project. And by the way, people seem to be very excited for it. When I announced this like a week or two ago that I'm interested in doing this, a lot of people came in and like, retweeted that or liked it and said, yeah, do it. I got some private messages from people who are like, yeah, you got to do it. That's a really exciting thing. So that's going to be Wednesday's stream. Now, the thing is, the documentary is 3 hours long, or excuse me, an hour and a half long. When I react to these things, it takes a long time. I add a lot of context. I have a lot to say. For example, Review Tech USA's documentary was 90 minutes, and it took over 3 hours to react to, and I skipped a part of it. Okay? My own documentary was about 3.5 hours long, and it took me 12 hours to react to it. But that's because it was mine and I had a lot to say, right? In this case, I probably won't have as much to say, but I am interested about this. And, I'm going to make time for it. So basically, it's going to be my first stream on Wednesday. But then if I need the time, I'll also do it on the late stream. I'm leaving my schedule open enough that if I need to come back and do it later on in the day to finish it, I will. Okay? So we'll see how it goes. And then after that, there will still be more gameplay. I'm still doing DS Politics on Thursday night. It's a full week for me. Another full 6-day streaming week coming up next week. Okay? Cool. Now, I will have a big announcement on Sunday. All right? On Sunday's Level 1 podcast, I'm going to have an announcement. And I guarantee you it's going to be clipped. It's going to have people sharing it all over the internet. So Sunday, I have a big thing to say. Okay? But I'm saving it for Sunday. Today, we're so busy. I knew the Game Awards are going to dominate what we're doing today. So we're going to do a bunch of Game Awards reacting today. And then Sunday is the big day where I'm going to be talking about something very important. Okay? Fair enough. A couple other things. Last night on DS Politics, we literally discussed on the show, should I start co-streaming DS Politics with YouTube and Kick, just like I've been doing with my gameplay? The difference being I would co-stream it on DSP Reacts and Kick rather than DSPGaming and Kick. I'm not sure. Right now, when I'm doing DS Politics, I'm getting around 200 viewers on average on Kick, and that's good. Like, that's much better. My usual streams on Kick only get like 50 viewers, but the politics stuff definitely gets a lot more attention, and I'm happy for that. I'm grateful for that, and thank you to everyone who tunes into the politics show. But the support is the problem, because originally on Kick, I was getting literally tons of gifted subs every stream I did. The first month I streamed on Kick was tremendous. But now you guys probably noticed that a lot of the people who were coming around on Kick and constantly supporting just aren't around anymore. For whatever reason. I don't know. So because of that, is it viable to just do a show on Kick? For example, last night, we were nearly near the end of the show, and I think it had like $27 of support. Then all of a sudden, in the last half hour, there was a rally, and by the end of the show, we had almost made $80. And I was like, well, now I'm not too upset about that. But the point is, this is supposed to be, if I'm doing content exclusively for Kick, that the viewers there are going to like it and support it, especially because it's a politics show, which is something that people have asked for many, many years. I don't know. So we got to talk about it. Let's talk about it during the course of the week, okay? Let's figure it out. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. There's definitely positives and negatives to keeping it on there, and I feel like we should talk about them, but we can't, because right now I need to do a lot of reacting. So we have to do that. I have to react to all these trailers and things. All right. Okay. So there we have it. That's basically what's going on right now. And I'm just double checking to make sure I've covered everything. We got a lot of stupid trolling today. So any moderators who are around, if you can help with the trolling, I would greatly appreciate it. The trolls are in full force today being assholes. Okay. What else? I think that's it. Okay, righty, scoot over here. Okay, final thing before we start with all this big reacting to these things, okay? Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Dude, I made a ridiculous amount of clips last night, okay? So first off, I made a highlight video here of me doing my year-end review for Game Pass Xbox Plus, basically the year-end wrap-up or whatever they call it for PlayStation, and I edited the two together into an 18-minute supercut video that I uploaded to the channel last night. So if you didn't see it yet, if you missed out on those segments from the podcast over the week, you could watch that supercut video and enjoy that. It's a highlight now for the channel. But in addition, I made 8 different highlight videos from last night's episode of DS Politics, which will be going live over on the DSP Reacts channel over the course of the next several days. Wow. Last night was something else, and the thing is, again, a lot of people just are not really watching the show, but it was a good one. Like, I talked about not only Luigi Mangione, the United Healthcare serial alleged murderer. I said serial? CEO. The United Healthcare CEO alleged murderer, and my take on the U.S. healthcare system and that whole situation, but also my take on the acquittal of Daniel Penny and all of this insane hoopla that's been, tossed up around it over the last week. And I had a lot to say, and some people really liked it, and some people didn't like it. But I just had a lot to say, and so I made a lot of clips about the segments, and those clips will be going live on DSP Reacts over the course of the week. I hope you'll check it out. I mean, that's the only content right now on the channel. We were doing weekly DSP tries-its that were doing really good, but I haven't been hitting the goals. As you can see, we're at the end of the week, and this week, we started at goals hit 2. We're at the end of the week. We're at goals hit 6. So 4 streams this week, I hit my goal of $150. Now, others I did all right, but not as good as hoped, obviously. Obviously I was hoping by the end of the week, we'd be at like 10, and then we could do DSP tries it, but we didn't. And remember, the way the new system works, when we hit every 10, that's the milestone where we do a DSP tries it, okay? And we can do it as fast or as slow as you guys want. It depends on levels of support. Right now, someone could come on the stream and drop $500, and then we add 3 to the counter, which means we'll be doing DSP tries it likely earlier next week. Or we could never hit the goal, and then we're just never doing it. It's kind of, both extremes there, right? So, it would be great to get some support today to hopefully get the momentum going again in the right direction. Please support the stream today, whether it's a super chat, super sticker, membership, or gifted membership on YouTube, a sub or gifted sub on Kick, or a tip, which you could do on either side, but just by doing a contribution through PayPal. That would be great. Now, to be honest, I've noticed a big lull in memberships and subs. If you haven't noticed, there's been several days where I've gotten 0 memberships on YouTube, and there's been days where I've had very few subs on Kick. And that's where we're lagging right now. Tips actually have been good, I would say, but everything else has basically been slowing down. It'd be great if we could get more variety in that way, particularly on the Kick side. Like I said, I've seen way less support on Kick. It would be great to get some over there today in that regard. And of course, every contribution, you get a shout out. I would hope that today we could hit the goal and we can add at least another one to the counter and get us up to 7 for today, whether it's today on the podcast and the Bloodborne stream, or maybe tonight on the Balatro stream. Either way. Okay? All right. Ladies and gents, let's get started with the reacting. All right? We got a lot to do today. First trailer to react to is the one that everyone wants me to react to. All right? The biggest one, I feel, for a lot of people. I think a lot of people were very excited to see this announced, but freaking out. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, live reacting right now to the Elden Ring Night Rain trailer. Looks familiar. What is that mysterious flame? We got those points of grace, but it looks like it's about to get burned up.
Seekers of redemption. You
Yes.
were chosen, thrown together by forces beyond our control.
So there's flying mounts now. Interesting. Look at that. What was that? Oh. So did you see what that was? Hold on. Did you see what that just was? How do you go back a step? Oh, here we go. I just want to go back to that boss they just showed. Do you see what that is? Take a look at what that boss is. Do you recognize it? That boss is the centipede demon from Dark Souls 1, isn't it? Yeah, that's the centipede demon from Dark Souls 1 in Elden Ring. What? What is a Dark Souls boss doing in Elden Ring? Co-op gameplay. They're teaming up to double team the enemies. Look at this, you can fly now. Damn, that enemy kicked their ass.
Tragedy must be averted.
Who's this? Who's this character?
And for that, I need your help.
Stand tall.
Wall running. Look familiar? Wall running from Sekiro is in the game. This is getting pretty interesting, don't you think?
The night is far from over.
Look familiar? Ladies and gentlemen, that's Nameless King, the hardest secret boss from Dark Souls 3. He's in Elden Ring. What is going on here?
Little pillager, bent on stacking the lands of gold. I will swear.
That's a new boss, it looks like. That looks like a dragon that has a worms-like mouth. That's a new monster.
Put away any and all who dare approach.
Look at this. Cerberus boss. By the way, look where you are. Doesn't this look like the desert that you fight Radon in? Only it looks like a different version of it, perhaps?
Bands
Now you're fighting 3 of them at once. 3 of the Cerberus guys at once. Holy shit.
together and prepare to claim. The life of the Night Lord.
The Night Lord? Who's the Night Lord? Elden Ring Night Rain. So that's it. And there's so much speculation on the internet about this right now. Like, seriously, there's an absolute ridiculous amount of speculation on the internet about this game. Okay? From what we know, the game is co-op. Okay? I think they said it was 3-player co-op. And you go through this world, and it's actually a roguelike. It's a freaking FromSoft roguelike. The goal is to survive 3 days in a world where I guess that night fire is like it's following you and trying to kill you, so you have to constantly be moving to try to survive. And there's actually going to be a whole bunch of bosses and mini bosses that you have to fight. And at the end of the 3-day survival, okay, basically there's a super boss fight that shows up. So basically what we were seeing there, some of those bosses, like possibly Nameless King, might be the super boss you have to fight at the end of the 3 days to survive and win the round or whatever you're going to call it. But the wild thing about it is, it's a real game. It's not like, oh, it's a fuck around game. It's a real game. Now, will it actually be canon in the lore of the FromSoft universes? I don't know. How do you have Dark Souls characters crossing over with Elden Ring when we've been told completely straightforwardly by FromSoft they're different universes? They have no relation. It's not the same timeline or anything. But now the characters are crossing over, right? The other thing is I like how they have Sekiro gameplay in there. So there's wall running and maybe parrying from Sekiro in the same game that's going to have Dark Souls and Elden Ring gameplay too. Some people are saying, oh, if you could see Night Rain, well, that means that the Ronnie ending is legit and true. So when Ronnie took over, it created a dimensional rift, and now the dimensions are bleeding into each other. People are just making stuff up. There's no evidence of any of that, that Ronnie's ending is the canon ending, and that this actually is really happening in the FromSoft universe. We have no idea, okay? But the idea of an Elden Ring co-op roguelike crossover game is pretty nuts, I would say. And I'm absolutely looking at it and like, wow, this looks interesting to me. And normally, for me, I would look at a game like this and be like, oh, that's a cash-in. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm actually pretty excited for this game. I'm excited to see what they put in it, to have modern versions of these boss fights from the older Dark Souls games with a modern engine, better graphics, you know. Now, the one thing I'm worried about is the co-op. And the reason I say that, I'll tell you why. FromSoft has never done a good job with their co-op or their invasion system or any of that. It's always laggy as shit, you know? So I'm nervous about that. But if they seriously, you know, put time into it and make it work, this could be a hugely successful game next year. And they've confirmed it's co-op, but you can also play it solo. There is a full solo mode where you don't have to have other people with you. So you could do it both ways. So, I mean, that could be very interesting. Apparently, there's going to be a network test. Now, I'm getting conflicting information because I saw last night they said network test was in February, but now someone on the Kick side says, oh, the network test is in January. I would love to get into the network test to mess around with it and see what it's like, but I don't know if I'll get in. It looks pretty good to me. Seriously, it looks pretty good to me. I'm excited for that. You know, I don't think anyone expected it. I certainly didn't. I thought they were going to announce like another game. You know, I didn't think it was going to be, look at this mishmash game of all the universes together, combining all the gameplay elements, bosses, and everything. Like, that's wild. It's kind of like a dream situation, is it not? Isn't it like a dream match situation? It's kind of weird. So, I'm excited for it. I wonder when it'll come out. They're saying 2025, and looks great. I'll have to, we'll have to definitely look into it. You know me, I'm all over FromSoft content. I'll definitely will check this out. Okay? Cool. Okay. A couple of shout outs. So on the Kick side of stuff, there was a gifted sub from, let me find it, Piscum Man. He gifted one to Doug the Dong Layer. Very nice. Very nice dong laying over there. Thank you for the gifted sub over there on Kick. I appreciate that. Got to lay those dongs out. And then we got a $2 super chat from J-Man. You're an inspiration to me as a YouTuber. Well, thank you. I accept your compliment. That's a very nice thing to say. And it's good to see you here. And thanks for the support this morning, J-Man. Oh, actually, it's this afternoon now. Just hit noonish here. Okay. So that was the first of many trailers that I'm interested in. The next one that I'd like to look at, it's kind of an interesting premise. You ready for this one? I don't think anyone was expecting this, me included. So this game is the new game from the makers of Sifu. And it looks like it's too loud. Hold on. It looks like Sifu, except what the heck is this? It certainly doesn't play like Sifu, that's for sure. So I'll be honest here. I'm not a big fan of sports. I'm not a big fan of football or soccer, whatever you want to call it. But this looks fun. Like, this looks like arcadey fun to me. Big, colorful arenas where the setting changes as you're either playing, or you can change it on the fly, maybe. I don't know. 5 versus 5. And it looks to me kind of like a more realistic, not realistic, but a more true to form sports game like Rocket League. You know? Looks good. Rematch. Doesn't it look good? Like, to me, here's the thing. That's going to fit a hole. That hole that we're looking for a game that's maybe sports but not super serious. Like, right now you could play, a game like FIFA or something like that. But this game is for the more casual crowd. This game is for the Rocket League players. That's exactly what this is. And you might say, well, I don't get it. We already have Rocket League. Yeah, you do. And Rocket League is like almost 10 years old now. You realize that, right? So this is going to be a game that I feel is going to take over for Rocket League. It'll be the more casualized football game. But think of it this way. All right, here's how I want you to think about it. This game has tremendous licensing potential. You notice it was just under Sony, right? So imagine you can get Sly Cooper on this field facing off against Kratos, right? Imagine the licensing potential. Imagine if this game becomes the Fortnite of football, where it has all these crossovers. All the backgrounds can be different game franchises. All the characters can be skins. They can have emotes on the field dancing after they score, right? This game has that potential. I definitely see it. So I guess we'll see what happens, because I feel like there is a need for something like this. It's a sports game, but not ultra serious. We've seen with a game like Rocket League that something like that can work. So I definitely think that this could actually work. If that's the case. If that's what they're going for, I guess we'll find out. It comes out in the summer. I'm genuinely interested in it. I am. Like, this might be a game that I might play and casually enjoy. I'm certainly not going to get, like, hardcore into it because I'm not a big sports guy. But I saw this trailer. I was like, that's something that would catch me. Like, I don't care about the sim aspects of, like, FIFA, but a game like that actually would attract a casual player like me, I feel, to a sports game. So there you go. Okay. Let's see here. I received my first tip of the day. A $4.20 tip from Poopy Pee Pee Pants. Will I ever play Code Vein? No. No, I will not. Not unless we hit 200 goals hit. At 200 goals hit, I will play Code Vein. All right, I don't think anyone actually wants that. So I don't think that's a... The Code Vein actually legit is not a very good game. It's just okay. I played the beta, and no one really liked me playing the beta. But then when people found out I had big anime boobies later, they all wanted me to play it. That was the only reason why, though. Like, the game itself is not very good. It's very repetitive. So, PP Pants. I'm going to call him PP. Wait a minute. PP Pants is Triple P? Wait, wasn't it Poopy PP Pants? Poopy PP Pants. Poopy PP Pants. There we go. All right, anyway. How ridiculous. Okay, let's continue on. Our next trailer. This is a long one. So I'm probably just going to let it play for a lot and just talk. But finally, ladies and gentlemen, we have information about Witcher 4. Finally. I have not seen this yet. So let's watch it together. Cinematic trailer pre-rendered in the Unreal Engine, running on an unannounced graphics card. That's pretty funny.
From a devilishly curious child into a remarkably young lass with much grace, wisdom, and kindness. Take the easy times what shape us, nay. 'Tis how we rise to face the hard times, what does that for us.
Why are the subtitles wrong? You notice that? The subtitles are completely desynced.
Even Art of Gold.
I gotta turn them off. They're completely delayed and wrong. It's bothering me. Okay.
You've the spirit to overcome adversities aplenty. Darling. Sweeten. Today's the day. Ye fill out your destiny.
She looks like Ellie. Look at her face. She looks like Ellie. She totally does. From Last of Us, I mean.
Forgive
What is it, her
me, daughter.
wedding day?
'Twere my only choice.
I shall be the bringer of salvation.
Oh, wait, never mind. They're gonna kill her, aren't they? They're gonna sacrifice her to a monster or something.
A Witcher? Witcher! Whose coin did ye take? Nay, you can't. 'Tis tradition. Chosen she is, by the gods.
No! You chose her.
They completely changed her facial structure, so now people are upset. Her face is completely redesigned. That's Siri, by the way. She totally does look like Ellie. Her face.
Back to the village. Go, now.
Nay! I must save them!
Save the village.
Save yourself. Run. To shelter. To your father. Run!
Why do they keep doing... Every time that they show her face, the camera focuses only on her face. So she goes like, run, but the camera stays focused on the head as it moves. It's bizarre. It's weird camera work. Whoa! What kind of monster is it? What the hell is it? It's a big boy. Drink those potions, that's right. I see you. It's a cool premise. I like the lore of this world. So now she's the new Witcher, the new monster hunter.
Fate cannot be changed. You cannot change anything.
Ouch! Not so tough when you have less arms. Now here's the thing though. Like, this looks amazing, right? And it totally fits the lore of the universe. This is great. She's the new Witcher. She's gonna fight monsters that the people are all superstitious and they think, oh, the monsters are gods and we have to sacrifice ourselves to them to appease them. She's like, nah, fuck that. Let me kill this thing, right? But here's the funny part. The combat will not be like this. The combat looks great in this trailer, but I've always criticized that the combat of Witcher is its weak point. The story is outstanding. The world design, the questing, the graphics, all of that is outstanding. The combat's the weak point. So unless they've completely redesigned the combat from the ground up, this is going to be like what they're showing now is like awesome, but it's just going to be like mashing, dodge, mash, chug a potion, dodge, mash, magic spell. Nice. That's cool. Killed that fucker.
She were to go to the woods. The chosen one. His tradition.
He killed her anyway.
No.
Wow, what a bunch of ignorant morons, huh?
That's all we wanted. For her to go to the woods. To go to the gods.
Gods? There are no gods here. There are only monsters.
Time for a new saga. See you on the path.
And that was Geralt. They've already confirmed Geralt will appear in the game, but he'll be like a side character. That's cool. Listen, I'm down for that. The plot looks good. Really, the plot looks good. The ignorance of man, right? It's going to be a central theme of the game, I feel. But I just hope that the combat's better. The combat is the one criticism I had about Witcher 3. I loved the rest of the game. So I hope that the combat's improved. But outside of that, that looks great to me, right? That looks sweet. All right. Cool. Witcher 4. Very nice. What else do we got? We got like 700 more to watch. Here we go. Ready for this one? Ladies and gentlemen, I have your early pick for Game of the Year 2025. Yeah, yeah, come on. Great. Jasper Kitty game. This is amazing. Yes. So customizable. Yes. Yes. No, hold on. No. Finally, a game for you and me. Listen, I'm a cat lover. I'm a cat lover, but I mean, that game looks pretty suspect. Does it not look like half of that was AI generated, if not more? The entire trailer looks like it's just an AI game. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, Catly. I don't know. I'll look into this one. Apparently, it's an MMO. That's what I'm being told. It's an MMO. I guess we'll find out when it actually comes out. But already, it's hilarious. There are content creators shilling for this game. I already saw a few of them. I was like, you haven't heard from this person in like 5 years. All of a sudden, they come out of hiding. I'm here to promote Catly. It's like, okay, here we go. Anyway, Dio Brando with a $2 super chat. That was a predictable trailer. Siri got surgery. I don't know what you mean, Dio. If you mean her appearance, that's what I said. She looks completely different. Her whole facial structure is redesigned and everything. But I mean, we are almost 10 years after the last game, so they do this stuff frequently. Okay. All right. That's a good one. I cannot wait for Catly, my friends. All right, here's next. Here we go. So, we knew this game was being made. It was announced like 2-3 years ago. But I'm very curious. I didn't see this yet. So I'm curious to see what we're going to see here. The Outer Worlds 2. Here we go. For the record, I really enjoyed The Outer Worlds 1 for its story, world design, music, graphics. The one part of the game that was its shortcoming was the combat. So if they can make the combat better, I think this game will be outstanding. So I'm curious what they've done with it.
The studio that brought you Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, Part 2. Neverwinter Nights, Part 2. And Fallout 3, Part 2.
That's right. That's right.
Comes a completely original Part 2. And like all good sequels, we've included everything that should have been in the first game. More action. More
Nice, new weapons.
And more graphics. Get ready for an adventure that took 3 times longer to make, but will almost certainly be 2 times bigger.
The graphics are great. Holy crap.
In 2025.
3 times the RGBs.
Welcome back to the future. Try not to break it again. The Outer Worlds 2.
Cool. So,
I'm not interested in hiring any more idiots. I'm looking for people of tact and vision and perspicacity.
So, it looks good. But like I said, I really hope they improve the combat. Because that was the shortcoming of the first game. It became very grindy. But I actually really liked the story. I liked the locations. The plot lines were very interesting. The fact that you could choose to do things different ways was really cool. So, I am excited for that. And Game Pass. It's a Game Pass game. So, you keep your Game Pass. You don't have to buy it. That's a plus, too. Right? That's always a plus. Cool. Shout out to Cyber Elk with a €5 super chat. Says, Phil, I've just finished the Witcher 4 trailer. I was wondering when you were going to react to it. What are the odds? There you go. I'm doing a lot of reacting this morning on the podcast to all of these trailers. So, thank you. Actually, the euros are a little bit more valuable than the dollar right now. So, actually, I'm going to get Cyber Elk on the leaderboard. Thank you, Cyber Elk. Appreciate your guys' early support today. Thank you all so much. What's up, King Michael? How are you? Okay. What's next? We have so many to watch. This is interesting. So, this is really cool because there has not been a new iteration in Virtua Fighter in about 20 years. Like, Virtua Fighter 5 was the last one, and then they made a million versions of it, and then they kept porting it everywhere. And they're actually even working on that now, if I remember correctly. But this is supposedly something brand new. I don't know. Let's see. Eyeball Simulator. I haven't had this yet. It's a crow. Or is it? Yeah, it's a crow. Morning has broken. Like the first morning. Yes. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Oh, my fruit, you piece of shit. That's my stand, my family stand, you rapscallion, you. Oh, that's my house, too. Stop wrecking all my belongings. Look at this. Some actual gameplay. There you go. So there actually will be a new Virtua Fighter game coming out. They're making a new one. It's not just redoing the old ones. They're actually making a brand new one. I mean, now would be the time because fighting games, at least now, are prominent again. And, you know, you got Street Fighter, you got Tekken. But let's be honest. They are starting to burn out at this point, I feel. Mortal Kombat is pretty dead right now. So it does look like there's an opening in the gaming landscape for another major fighting game. So I think they made the right choice to have that come out now. So let's see what happens. There's going to be more information on it soon, right? Looks pretty good. Yeah, I know there's a whole direct apparently coming out for it, but I haven't seen it yet. It was today. It's sometime today, I think. So, okay. So, yes, Virtua Fighter is by Ryuga Gotopo. You know, the Yakuza people. You know, they make those games. So, now, here's their next project. Apparently, they have a brand new project that they're launching. Pre-alpha footage. Whoa. Wow, it's old-timey. That's interesting. Look at this. 1915. Cool.
Tonight I've got a little something special for you. We're going to try out a brand new tune.
Very old-timey.
Oh my, your music, your 7th grade.
What the hell?
Let's see.
What the hell? Jump them. Damn, ground and pound.
Let's keep on singing another day. With music,
Oh, this looks good. This looks good. I like this combat. It's interesting. Oh my god, it ripped his heart out. Holy shit. Whoa.
Let's keep on singing.
Oh, brutal. Blood squirting everywhere. Damn. Project Century. That looks good. No, that looks genuinely good because, listen, I like Ryogo Gotoku, whatever the hell the name of the studio is. I really do. But let's be honest, like a Dragon / Yakuza, it's really, really getting stretched thin. There's so many of them at this point. And I like Judgment and Lost Judgment, but it's just like few and far between now. You don't want to have the same thing over and over. That looks good. Totally new plot line, set in the past, you know, brutal, gory gameplay. That looks excellent. I'm actually very excited for that. And of course, that will come out in 17 years, but it looks good. I'm very excited for that. I hope we get more information. Okay, cool. Very, very nice. Shout out to Cyber Elk became a member. Thank you, Cyber Elk. A new member this morning. Appreciate that. Let's add that to our total of support for today. It's $3 for every membership I get. And Dio Brando with a $5 super chat. I'm so excited for Virtua Fighter. Finally, we will get to play with Sarah Bryant again. Make me get a new console. There you go. For me, I hope that it's on PC, obviously. I'd prefer to play it on PC, but hey, I got PS5 Pro as well, so either works, I guess, right? Very nice. All right, very good, very good. Okay, continuing on. So, I don't know anything about Onimusha. I never played Onimusha. A lot of people have told me over the years that Onimusha is quite good, and that I missed out having never experienced it or playing it. So this literally will be my first experience and exposure to Onimusha right now. Look at that. What the hell? Hey, yokai. We got yokais in the house. Yokais in the house. We got yokais in the house. That's a hell of a ghost trap. Capcom. That's right. Onimusha's Capcom. I wonder if people are surprised they're bringing this back, because it's been a long time, right? Since they had a real one. Demon Samurai. Body's falling apart. Whoa, look at that creature. Got those paper things on it, those paper prayers. Onimusha Way of the Sword. Looks pretty interesting. I guess the whole game will be samurai.
I'm getting less human by the minute.
Oi! I'm getting less human by the minute. Oi! 2026, we'll all be dead by then. Oi! Capcom, you're taking too long. This should have been 2025. Well, you don't really see that much about it, but looks all right. You know, at least from initial impressions, a samurai game with demons in it. If it plays like all samurai, that's cool. I'd much rather have it be like a samurai-centric combat game than, say, like Neo, where it feels more like a hybrid of like Dark Souls or whatever. So I guess we'll see what it looks like, or what it plays like, but it looks pretty good to me. Again, I never seen or played Onimusha before. Okay. Continuing on. So, I did not see this at all yet. This is my first exposure to it. Apparently, there is a new Game of Thrones game coming out called King's Road. Now, it's an RPG. That's all I know. I'm going to say this up front. I'm not sold on a Game of Thrones game at this point. I feel like Game of Thrones is very played out. You know, the main show ended years ago. Yeah, there's a spin-off prequel series. I don't really care about it. Haven't seen a single episode of it. And so I'm curious, like, you know, would this really translate into something great or not? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like.
In the name of the warrior, I charge you to be brave.
Wait a minute. Netmarble? Is it a mobile game? Netmarble makes mobile games.
In the name of the father, I charge you to be just. In the name of the mother, I charge you to defend the innocent. Arise, a knight of Renan's Rest.
You got the theme song.
Castle Black is the only thing standing between the White Walkers and the Seven Kingdoms.
Jon Snow!
I'm nothing but a northern bastard from a powerless house.
Don't underestimate northern bastards. Someone must gather the support of the great houses.
Attaining your father's name.
Oh no! Look who it is! Is it, what's his name? Viseries or whatever? The milk of the puppy!
Will be hard.
I have spies everywhere!
Up to you to decide which is more worth your while.
Modesty won't get you very far in King's Landing. Do at least try to feign a little arrogance. We find it far more familiar.
You've seen the White Walkers yourself. You know what they can do. They have to be stopped.
I never got far enough into the books or the show to actually find out what the White Walkers were. I never got that far. I think I read 4 of the books. I tried to read the 5th and it was so fucking boring I couldn't stand it. So I just stopped reading it. And now he's never gonna finish it anyway. So I guess the show is canon now, but I only got like 3 seasons into the show. I ended up with the Red Wedding. That was the last thing I saw.
John, I will see it done.
This guy teams up with Jon Snow.
Like it
What the fuck? There were giants? Yo, there were giants in Game of Thrones? I didn't get that far. I had no idea there were giants in Game of Thrones. What the hell was that? So here's the thing, though. Is that a mobile game? Because Netmarble makes mobile games. So it might just be a mobile game. I don't know. You basically noticed that almost no one clapped. They were like, it's just like 5 years too late. Polite golf clap for everyone. So I don't know about that one. I'm definitely not sold on that one. Okay. Got a few more here. So the thing with Double Dragon, okay? When I grew up playing games in arcades, Double Dragon was actually one of the first games I ever had exposure to. It was at my local corner store before I was even going to arcades. And I like the side-scrolling beat-em-up style games. I had this on Atari, and then I had it on NES later. You know, the sequels and stuff. So I like Double Dragon, but they keep reviving it, and you keep thinking that, oh, they're going in this direction, then they're going in this direction. But then they revive it again, and it's another direction. So I'm curious. This is called Double Dragon Revive, like literally revive. So I wonder what that means. Does this mean they're going back to their roots? Let's find out.
It begins. Another battle.
Arc System Works is doing it this time.
Let's get this done.
It is time we settle this. Shadows surround you. Let's go.
Hell, that's Billy and Jimmy Lee right there. Yeah, the art style's very weird. Oh, they have more teammates too. That's supposed to be the shadow boss? Looks nothing like it.
Let's end this!
You can't tell anything at all. So it comes out in October. You can't tell a single thing about that game from that trailer. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to play like. I don't know, you know. That's lame. They should have at least show me 5 seconds of gameplay so I at least know what it's going to be. But I can't tell from that at all what the hell the game is. That's lame. They definitely could have done. They could have done a better job than that. That's disappointing to me. That's a disappointing trailer because it doesn't really show anything at all. Okay. Continuing on here. We got a few more to get through. This has been a packed podcast, but we're almost done. We're actually getting through all the trailers I wanted to watch. Fill my water here. Thank you guys for chilling with me, and thanks for the early support. I really hope that after the podcast, you'll stick around for I almost said Elden Ring again, for Bloodborne Old Hunters. Okay? Okay, ready? So, it's been a long time since we had a Mafia game, right? Mafia 1 and 2, very linear, very narrative-based games. Mafia 3, a game that added in more open world and a lot of grindy side content. If you just played the main story of Mafia 3, it was actually an enjoyable game. When you had to do the side content grinding in order to unlock the story, it was tedious and really not paced well. Also, Mafia 3 was incredibly buggy when it came out. It became a better game over time. Now, Mafia has a new game coming out called The Old Country. So let's see what this is all about.
All of the men in this room are bound by blood. This is a family. And in this family, we follow a code of honor. It is not forgiving. To betray one is to betray all. Do you wish to commit yourself?
Joining the family.
To this family. I do.
Sucker.
To become a man of honor.
It takes place in Italy.
Repeat these words. I swear my loyalty to this family. My flesh has to burn like this saint. If I do not keep my oath, welcome, Enzo.
Wish list now. Even though we don't know when it's good. Oh, summer 2025. Okay. Looks pretty good. If it really does take place entirely in Italy, if it is honestly narrative based, which I feel was the strength of the Mafia franchise previously, I think it'll be a great game. If they force you to do 25 hours of side content grinding to unlock the next chapter of the story, it's going to suck. All right? So I guess we'll see what they do with it, but I hope for the best. I really liked Mafia 1 and 2. I thought Mafia 3 would have been fine if it didn't have the grindiness. So I'm excited. It's been a while. It's been a long time since we had a Mafia game, so let's hope it's good. Okay? Shout out to Squirt Rocks, who gifted a sub on Kick and says, I have to get back to work, but I'll check out your Blood Bowl friends after. Best of luck. Thank you so much, Squirt Rocks. I appreciate that. Thank you for the gifted sub over on Kick and the support. And then Spawn Killer did a $2 super chat. Are you going to watch the Turok trailer? Well, you know, perhaps. Perhaps you should stay tuned. This is a surprise. I don't know if anyone expected this. I mean, in one Game Awards, they announced that Onimusha's coming back, and now they announce Okami is getting a sequel? Beautiful watercolor art style of Okami. I mean, can you imagine what they're going to do with the graphics today with the modern technology? This game was beautiful on what? Was it PS2? And then they remade it and it was beautiful in the remake. Can you imagine how nice this is going to look in modern graphics and everything? They're just going to call it Okami Sequel. That's the name of the game. Okami Sequel. There we go. So it is a true sequel, tried and true. What the? I accidentally played it again. Interesting. You know, here's the thing. I played Okami, not the original, but I played the remake with you guys years and years ago. I was really enjoying it, but the audience didn't like it. And I was like, why not? And they said, oh, it's too repetitive. It's boring. A lot of people said it reminded them of like a Zelda game. And I was like, you know, that's sad. I really liked it. I thought that it was gorgeous. I liked the gameplay elements. I liked the puzzles, but it didn't catch on. So honestly, I don't know if the sequel would catch on, but if anything, it may be an absolute gorgeous game, right? Like the graphics there look outstanding just for the idea that the whole game is watercolor. Imagine how awesome that's going to look, right? Okay. Continuing on. Yet another shocking announcement at the Game Awards. Another franchise that's basically been retired for a long time is now coming back. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Turok Origins. Turok. A mix of pre-rendered and gameplay footage. Guess the difference. I always liked how Turok was a combination of futuristic but like prehistoric at the same time. Cool, look at that. Oh, this looks good. The gameplay looks good. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Now, hold on. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference between we're just announcing versus here's some gameplay? And the thing is, it doesn't even have a release date yet, right? And all it says is PlayStation 5. But looking at that, I was like, that looks great. Just the 5 seconds of footage they showed, it looks good. All you got to do is show your game. You know, you should be proud about what you did. You know, not just an announcement teaser trailer that's a CGI, you know, movie that has nothing to do with what the game will actually be. Show me the game. Be proud of what you've put together. To me, that's exciting. That looks good to me. That's a game that I'm interested in and I want to follow. They did a good job putting that together. You know what I mean? Okay. All right. And the last, I saved the most interesting, I feel, for last. Reason being, ladies and gentlemen, everyone's been wondering, what is Naughty Dog up to, right? Because we've been told that Naughty Dog is not making the new Last of Us, or, you know, they do have another one in them, but that's not what they've been working on. Well, what the hell have they been working on? Okay? This is what they've been working on. Ladies and gentlemen, Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet announcement trailer. Here we go. Here we go. What the hell does that say? What a bunch of gibberish. The suffering of generations must be endured to achieve our divine end. And then a subtitle that says it as well. Nice. This is captured on actual PS5 Pro. Okay. Weird direction for Naughty Dog, going from Uncharted to The Last of Us to this. I don't think anyone was expecting this. All right, finally a perfect cue ball. The hairdo I've always wanted, but my mom wouldn't let me do. Hold on, let me apply my turtle wax.
Jordan, tell me something good. Well, you're right, it checks out. He's hiding out around the Superior Moon.
Okay. I don't know what's up with the closed captions. They are so desynced that they're distracting. I'm turning them off.
How is that excellent? He's next to fucking Superior. No one has left that planet in number 6.
So basically, it's Alien. I mean, is it not? It's the 80s hybrid of the future where everything's a tube TV. So this is Alien. They copied Alien.
These are facts. You worry too much. You know what I worry just the right amount. I say we wait for him to leave, or how about we find a new lead? He's not worth it. I'm wasting my time, aren't I? Can you please claim him? I don't need another hunter swooping in. Who is swooping? No one is crazy enough to go there. He clearly is. He is clearly desperate.
Wait a minute.
And
Did you
so
see
am
the
I,
screen?
so claim
Hold
him,
on.
or I
They
will
show that
find
screen
another.
again. The person they're talking about, he's not worth it. He's a real actor. I recognize his face. He was on the screen up there.
Okay, alright, you know what? There, you're the boss.
Yeah, look. That's a real actor. What's his name? God, I can't remember his name. That 100% so they got him for the game. That real life actor.
Thank you. Listen, kid.
In a surprise twist, this was the girl from The Last of Us 2 who was excommunicated because they said they were another gender. Remember that? The same person. That would be something. They tie the two together. That'd be insane. All right, obviously it's not, but you know. Okay, I do have to ask a question. What is it recently now that all these games now have to take this route of it's the future, but it's the future if our technology never advanced. It's the tube TV 1980s version of the future. You know, Starfield just did it. Aliens is still doing it. Why is this the new in vogue thing? Right? Like, why not just have the real future with LEDs and flat screens and the technology we have today advance further? Maybe holograms. Why did everyone wants to do this retro, you know, CRT future? I don't get it. I don't. How did this become the norm now? It's the new steampunk. I guess that's true. It's a fad. Steampunk was a fad. Now the 80s version of the future is a fad that every game wants to do. Even dial, you know, the old dials. Look at the CDs. Things that we don't even use now anymore. Adidas? Are you kidding? Did you see that product placement? Adidas? Porsche? What is with all the product placements? Adidas and Porsche? That was not combat gameplay. That's bullshit. So, it's basically a combination of like Guardians of the Galaxy with Alien. It's like a pop culture mishmash. That's what it feels like to me. Like we took this thing over here that's popular, this thing over here that's popular, this thing over here that's popular, and they just smashed it together. Oh, by the way, throw some branding in there for recognition. Get some Adidas, get the Porsche car, get this and that. What? I don't know about this one. I really don't know about this one, especially because immediately, you know, the protagonist has to be, you know, a female who has to shave her head, you know, completely, which of course, oh, it goes against cultural norms for a female to shave her head. Now she's like G.I. Jane, you know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I want to see more. That one scene they just showed of combat was not real combat at all. You could tell that was pre-rendered nonsense. So here's the thing. Like, this is really Neil Druckmann's last chance to make something worth playing, because since he started controlling Naughty Dog, I'm sorry, it's just been downhill. Before he was in charge of the studio, they were making hit games in Uncharted, The Last of Us 1. He takes control and just tanks everything. Now, the thing doesn't mean that the games didn't sell, but he definitely tanked the reputation of the studio among gamers. Like, I just want a good game. I don't want you shoving agendas down my throat. I don't want you telling me this is the new norm. I just want to play a good game. So if the game is good, fine, but already you're starting to see it. As soon as it opens, like, what is this? What is he doing? Here we go again. He already said this is his last game. He said, I got one more big game in me. Good. I hope that after this he retires, because I feel like Naughty Dog needs better leadership. And if he would step down and someone else with a brain would fucking step up there instead of just, oh, emotions, then they make better games. I mean, they could definitely do good games. They've done it before. We just need to see that again instead of having bad leadership. So we'll see what happens. At least it's a completely different thing. It's not The Last of Us 3 or but you know what's funny? Because I almost said it's not The Last of Us 2 resold again, but they are. The Last of Us 2 is getting a PC port, the remastered version, in next year, like April. And everyone was like, what the fuck? Like, what? No, we don't want to buy it a 17th time, you idiot. Anyway. Okay. That is a huge roundup of trailers, guys, that I wanted to look at today. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Yeah, that was, I knew that was going to be the majority of the show because we had so much to watch. So, there's other stuff for sure, but most of the other stuff didn't interest me. I'm getting asked about Borderlands 4. Number one, I didn't like Borderlands 3. I thought Borderlands 3 was very repetitive and boring and kind of lost its way. And quite frankly, the Borderlands 4 trailer I did not like. So I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be reacting to that one today. Okay. So, folks, do you have any questions, any last minute topics you'd like to discuss before we adjourn the show and we get set up for Bloodborne? Yeah, I'm sorry, Game Boy. I guess Game Boy really likes Borderlands. At one point I liked Borderlands. I'm not a Borderlands dude anymore. I just don't like it. It's kind of boring to me. Lipshian says best game awards ever in terms of game announcements. Maybe. There was a ton of announcements. Not a lot of concrete info, but a lot of announcements of, hey, we're doing this, we're making this. I wish that these announcements had more substance to them. When half the announcements are just a cinematic and no information about the game, it's kind of frustrating, especially when they don't even have, like, solid release dates. And they all, 2025. Guarantee you half those games will not come out in 2025. That's their wishful thinking. They're just full of crap, I don't know if I'll be buying the new Naughty Dog game or not. I want to see more of it. Here's the thing. I don't care about the narrative and the agendas. I don't. If the game is sound and fun to play, then I'll play it. Last of Us 2 was a game that was fun to play, but awful to experience the story. Because the story was just so atrociously fucking or poorly written, poorly paced, badly done, torture porn shit. It just was not enjoyable. The gameplay elements were good. Everything else was terrible. So I hope that this game is enjoyable. If it's an enjoyable game, you can kind of cringe through a story that you don't like, right? No, I didn't see the Flute guy. I didn't actually watch the Game Awards. I was streaming my politics show. But I looked at the list of all the games announced, and I pulled from there, here's the ones that looked interesting to me to watch today, so. Yeah, I saw the Split Fiction. Well, I saw about Split Fiction, which is the new game from the studio that made It Takes Two, right? I'm sure it's great, but I'm not too interested in it. Can we do the Astrobot DLC during the Christmas Marathon? It's like 30 minutes long. Nominate it. Everyone, if you want to see something during the Christmas Marathon, nominate it in the thread, the Christmas thread. You can type it right now, !Christmas on YouTube, or go to the community tab of the channel here on DSP Gaming and go to that thread and post up, you want to see the Astrobot DLC, yeah, I'll do it. It's free. I own Astrobot. Why wouldn't I do it? Right? The last Ninja Gaiden, it doesn't even look like Ninja Gaiden. It's like a cartoon, right? It looks very weird, so I wasn't too interested in it. Yes, absolutely. I'll immediately be upgrading both PCs' GPUs to the 5090 next year. In fact, if they have like a 5090 Ultra Super Ti Max that costs like $2,000 a card, I'll be getting it right away and installing it post-haste, for sure, without a doubt. And if it runs at blistering fast speeds, but then it requires that you upgrade your motherboard, I'll be gutting both of my PCs completely down to the bare bones and starting over and rebuilding from scratch, because that's what PC gamers do, right? Right? That's what I'm supposed to do? Every year, drop $4,000? Yes. What if it needs a 2,000 watt power supply? Yeah, well, looks like we got to get it to work. We got here, you know what? We got to start doing a new goal to fund next year's PC upgrades, right? For sure. By the way, the background RGBs today, I didn't mention it. It's called Dark Matter. It's supposed to be pulsating purple and like pink variating. Dark Matter, like in space or something. It looks pretty good, right? The RGB. I like it today. It's a good setup for Bloodborne. What's for dinner tonight? I think we're doing homemade gumbo, which we haven't had in a long time. We have shrimp and chicken sausage and a variety of colors of peppers in a roux that my wife makes over the stove, and then you pour that over white rice. It's pretty delicious. My PC is good for 4 to 5 years. No! The 50, 80, 90, 20 Ti Ultra Max XX Triple XL is coming out. I have to get it. It doesn't matter if it's like, you know, $3,500. It's, you know, it's worth the investment for sure. We're doing it right away. Am I going to read the Witcher books before Witcher 4? Am I going to read all of the Witcher books before Witcher 4 comes out? I wonder if... No! I will not be reading the Witcher books before Witcher 4 comes out. Sorry. I can actually implement that now. I actually have shortcut buttons that I can easily do that now on the show. I'm so happy I can now use that whenever I want on the fly, because I don't have to click around 17 screens to make that scene work. I'm very happy. I received a $1.50 tip. We desperately need another new BioShock or Dishonored. The early 2010s games were the best. Yeah, and the weird part about it is they're supposed to be making another BioShock, but we haven't seen or heard anything about it in so long. The question has to be asked, what happened to it? Where is it? You know, is it still existing? Like, what exactly is going on? Because it sure seems to me like it's been forgotten or it's out in limbo somewhere. Right? Like, what is going on with it? I want to hear about it. Let's see here. Do I read it all? No, never, Sarah. What I do is I psychically attune to your brains to know what you're saying. I never read chat. That's correct. There you go. Battleduck says, and you have to get the special edition of the graphics card that's branded for a game. Probably has the art of the game splapped all over it, but doesn't actually come with the game anyway. What's up, X-Shooter? How you doing? I seem jolly today. Not really. Like, I'm not any happier or unhappier than usual. I thought that the podcast today was good because we got to talk about a bunch of games. That was fun. You know, to go through the game trailers. I have a good time with that. Hey, my lights didn't desync for once. That was good. Witcher 4 is likely going to be over 100 hours long. Does that concern you? No. No, I'm not concerned about anything. I'm good. I'm nice and chill. Bill doesn't have a care in the world these days, let me tell you. I'm good. No worries. By the way, contribute right now to the goal immediately if you can. Bathe me in contributions immediately. Super chats, tips, memberships, and subs. What are you doing? Only $49. How dare you? Should have been done much better on this show. How could you? What are my thoughts on the new spin on Pac-Man? I don't know, because I haven't seen. I know what you're talking about, that game, the show, right? Secret Level or whatever that's on Amazon. I haven't seen it yet. I think my wife and I may be interested in it and maybe talking about it. So, the Drew Corporation, thank you for a month as a member. He says, ask and you shall receive. Thank you, Drew, except that was a re-upping. It doesn't count. That was not an actual legit new membership. Super Bonchon says, no Tekken 8 DLC coverage, sad. What, you want me to talk about how it's the main character of Final Fantasy 16, and literally everyone said, what the fuck? Like, everyone saw the announcement, they were like, what? We said that we wanted Tifa, and you gave us the fucking guy from Final Fantasy 16, the reject game? Like, what the fuck's your problem? Everyone's very upset right now with Tekken 8, so there you go. I received a $2 tip. Can you react to an orchestra playing before they announce Game of the Year? It's really cool. No, I didn't actually watch the awards, and I'm not going to. The Game Awards are insanely bloated with fluff, advertisement, and filler content that waste your time. And it's just, you know, I don't have time to waste. I'm not going to sit there and watch a 4-hour show to listen to this orchestra play. I don't give a shit, honestly. Just being honest, you know, they might be the best orchestra on the planet, but I don't care. Rebirth is coming to PC. Do you think it will help boost its sales? I don't know. I guess we'll see. They definitely need the help. Do I watch the Oscars? Absolutely not. I do not. Will I be playing the next Sniper Elite game in January? I have no idea. I didn't even know it was coming out. What I'm going to do is at year end, I am going to do a gaming schedule update where we're going to go through the entire gaming schedule and outline the games that I'm interested in for the first few months of the year. I haven't done this in many, many months, so I do not know what's coming out or when next year, and I need to do that. So we will do that probably year end. Cyber Elk did a €2 super chat. €2 super chat. Is it worth it to have a gaming PC and a PS5 Pro? Well, so far, for example, the advantage has been I can play Bloodborne at this new highest upscaled quality. Right now, outside of that, is there anything else I'm doing on my PS5 Pro? Not really. When it came out, I tested various games, right? I tested God of War. I tested Horizon. You could play them all at 4K, 60 frames, and they all run well. But outside of the Sony exclusives, is there a reason? No. So if you're into the Sony exclusives and you don't want to wait for them to be ported to PC years later, PS5 Pro is the way to go, right? But if you have a gaming PC, you can play most games. Or if you're willing to wait, likely you'll be able to play all games except Bloodborne for some reason. That's the only one. Oh, there's a new Pac-Man game called Shadow Labyrinth. Oh, I didn't even know that. I don't know anything about that. I must have missed it. Yeah, I didn't know anything about a Pac-Man Shadow Labyrinth game. I guess maybe I'll have to look into it eventually. I was not aware. With GTA 6 next year, yeah. GTA 6 next year, since GTA games historically do not release on PC at a, synchronized release, yeah. GTA 6, everyone will be happy who has a PS5 Pro. That's probably the main use of it, right? If Jeff invited me to appear at the Game Awards and give you a Lifetime Achievement Award in gaming, would I accept it? Yes. And I would go on stage, and as I was about to start my acceptance speech, I would say, "What is this shit?" And I would spike it. And it would explode into a million pieces all over the stage. And then I would give everyone the double middle finger, like this. And I would run off the stage. All right. That's so stupid. Why? I don't know. I'm just being dumb. I don't know. I don't know why I would do that. I probably wouldn't do that. All right. Guys, we have to end the show. Why? Because I want to start with Bloodborne. I want to get a good amount of Bloodborne gameplay in here. So, by the way, I just filmed this video in a completely different codec. Okay? So, I'm hoping that maybe using this different codec, YouTube will actually process it. So if you're able to watch this podcast relatively quickly after I uploaded it, that's why. This week, I've had so many problems on YouTube with videos. It's insane. No exaggeration. Yesterday's podcast, as of this moment, still has not processed. So people still cannot watch the podcast in HD. So it's only got like 400 views because no one wants to watch it at 360 peach fuzz quality. So I guess we'll see today what's happening. I'm also probably going to still do the shorter gameplay vids just to make sure, because yesterday I did 30-minute vids and it worked. So I guess we'll see what happened, okay? All right. You think I overestimate how many people watch YouTube in 4K? I'm not doing 4K. What are you talking about? I do 1440p. I'm not doing 4K. I'm doing 1440p. Yeah, 4K is ridiculous. Like, if I were to capture and stream at 4K, number one, the bandwidth would be insane. Number two, the file sizes would be nuts. And number three, very few people would watch in 4K regardless. You know, I know that. 1440p is probably the best right now. You know, maybe later on if things change. I mean, thing is, I could do 4K if I actually wanted to. This setup allows me to do that. But I just don't see the reason at this point. It would take forever. I mean, I'm already having problems just with the 1440p. Now imagine me trying to do 4K. It probably wouldn't even work, right? I received another $2 tip. Did I buy the PS5 Pro or did a viewer? No, I told you it was donated. I never would have bought a PS5 Pro. That is too expensive of an investment for something that I'm not going to use that much. Like, after I beat Bloodborne, realistically, when's the next time I'm going to use the PS5 Pro, right? Maybe if we do a playthrough of Sly Cooper or something like that next year, but I'm not going to be using it that often. Oh, Dino Crisis, right, is on there now. So maybe that, but I mean, that's what I'm playing it for. I'm not going to be using it for anything modern in the near future. It's going to be mostly PC gaming for me from now moving on, you know, from now forward. So why don't I sell the PS5 Pro? Because I'm not a fucking idiot. What a dumb question. Because I'm not a moron, because I could use it in the future for content. Like I just said, GTA 6. Why would I sell it? Am I desperate? No. Don't ask dumb questions like that. Sheesh, that was a dumb one. By the way, to end the show, the Christmas present I received from my parents yesterday is a very, very beautiful Christmas decoration. I'm very happy with it. My wife and I really like it. I took a picture of it this morning. I completely didn't get it set up. So probably on Sunday, I will show you guys the beautiful Christmas decoration that we received as a Christmas present from my parents this year. Very nice. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for watching the Level 1 podcast. When I come back on Sunday, it will be a special show. I have a special announcement to make. I told you, I've been teasing this all week. You won't want to miss it. And it'll be chill vibes. It'll be catch-up show to let you know what I did on my day off. Perhaps we'll have a lot more game news to cover. I'm not sure. We'll see. But in the meantime, thank you all. I appreciate you. Have a good, fun, and safe, and festive Saturday. And I'll be back Sunday to start another full week of content here on the channel. So thank you all. Merry Christmas to all. And to all, a good Saturday. See you Sunday.